Okay, so good evening, everybody. I
Hello.
hope, we hope, Ilinka and myself hope that you are doing very well with the new moon and the solar eclipse. How are you feeling?
Oh, it's like a roller coaster, but it's
Oh,
filled
lovely. Ah,
with lovely energies, very informative, and well, with Facebook Facebook not working properly, then
Zoom is the answer, right? So let's zoom and do it. Brilliant. Well, I'll
let's
start
zoom
with,
in.
right. I wasn't really sure about what it was that I wanted to bring up, right? But I thought that the best topic, well, and if, let's just agree for like argument's sake, talk about 3D matters. And, well, 3D matters. We are in 3D, right? And what we mean by saying 3D is this life that can be exciting, sometimes can be hellishly exciting, so much so that we just feel, okay, that's it, we need a break. Now, we have had, both of us, right, Ilinka, we have had some beautiful experiences, beautiful in inverted commas, but I mean, ultimately, they were beautiful because we learned from it. And I suppose what we want to do, well, I'm talking now for both of us, but, you please stop me if you think that that's not, that's not on. It's like what we learned, right, from the experience that we had. So, Ilinka, you start with your experience, and then I'll just chime in mine, and we'll just zoom. And, hopefully, people who will actually watch this video at some point, they may sort of, have like a aha moment, like I suppose we have had, yeah? So,
First
anyway,
of all,
would you like to share your experience first as you're younger and more beautiful?
thank you. First of all, I'm praying that this video arrives to the people that it is meant to um, arrive to.
Oh, it will.
The technology right now is a little bit off, but I don't know if I can help myself from speaking also energy and more than
Right.
3D, because we are impacted by whatever is happening. So we have the total solar eclipse that just happened yesterday, with influences on us starting from a month ago and going until after the partial moon eclipse. It will be a full moon, but it will be partially covered
Okay, when will that be,
on the
Ilinka?
16th of July. So in 2 weeks we will have that coming towards us, and we will have both the energy of Mother Moon as the full moon and how it is impacting us regularly. But on top of that, we will have also this shift that will happen not only at our visual level, where we will see, probably if we are lucky enough, the moon partially being covered, by also some things are happening because we have the feminine energy with the full moon and the moon in general, and we have the masculine energy with
Okay, Ilinka, I lost you.
you can't see me or you cannot understand me.
No, I can see you for a moment you froze, so I was trying to, you know, listen, but I couldn't. But anyway, carry on. It's okay. It's all right. Just repeat. Can you repeat what you said, darling?
Yes, of
Just
course.
for the viewers to catch
We
up.
have so we have the total solar eclipse that happened yesterday, that was not seen
Two
by
days ago. Yeah.
humans
Mhm.
because it happened during our evening.
Uh-huh.
And 2 weeks from now, almost to the day, we will have the partial moon eclipse. The partial
Mhm.
moon eclipse is a partial moon eclipse coming on a full moon as well. So we have the energy of the full moon as we already know them. Each time there's a full moon, there's a little bit of disturbance in our sleep patterns and all kinds of downloads, all kinds of energies coming through. But also there is this shift.
Ilinka, I can't hear you.
Yes, I don't know exactly what is going on because, of course, I can hear myself, but I don't know how the recording is going. If it's just you that cannot hear me, or the whole recording is not recording us both. Do I have a feedback? Because now you cannot, you're not moving, but I can't hear you either.
Okay.
Is
I
it?
lost you there.
Yeah. For a second, I could not see or hear you.
I couldn't either. I don't know why. I couldn't either, darling. Well, that's okay. Let's carry on. Let's carry on about the 3 Da.
If I'm starting all over again the whole explanation about the full moon, well, basically we have the solar eclipse and the moon eclipse. The solar eclipse, we could not see it, but we have felt it. The moon eclipse, maybe we will see
it, right? Yeah.
Or not. That will remain to be seen. It is a full moon, so whatever happens, the energy of the full moon will still be there as usual, but it will be slightly shifted, amplified, and some things, some kind of, let's say, energetical information will come through this partial eclipse.
Right.
So there's a time when, let's say, that the divine feminine and the divine masculine are amplified.
Okay.
The full moon is more about the feminine part of us, and it is also about detoxing. So it was subconscious. My decision to detox just happened between brackets to come before the solar eclipse, and will still go on for a few months, since I wish to keep it going for a longer period of time. You need to go slower and bet on the durability and altogether impact of that detox. But basically, we need to also clean our sacral energy, our womb, the whole water element that comes with us being in the month of July, that is dedicated mostly to the Cancer. And the Cancer is a sign, a water sign. So their sensitivity, there will be a lot of emotions. There will be, there can be a lot of hysteria, because the womb, inside the womb, we have our reproductive system. And when the reproductive system is taken out of the womb, that's how we used to call the women who didn't have the reproductive system anymore, hysterical. And that's
sterile, from sterile, is it? No, it's hystera. Hystera, isn't it? It's called, like,
yes,
the womb, right?
Hysterectomy. When you get a hysterectomy, you become hysterical, and this is where the hysteria comes from.
I get you.
So there's a connection with the femininity, with the womb, with the waters of the womb in which the baby
is formed, right?
and grows. It has to do with detox because the full moon and all phases of the moon encourage an input of our desires and of
Okay.
our creations, but also an output of the old. So we are living in a period where we have to put more inside of ourselves and let
Right.
go of the stale energies that are not favorable to us or no longer useful to us at this moment. So there has to be a cleaning. Like the period comes to each lady every month, this is more like an energetical period that has to happen. It doesn't
Right.
every month, but from time to time we also have to clean the old and bring in the new. And we have
Right.
been shown through these energies that it is time, at least what I saw and what I received as an information and what I could understand from where I stand, is that we have
Uh-huh.
to thank the ones that we have been collaborating with, but also
Right.
take a step back and re-immerse within ourselves, because the I am
Right.
that I am is inside, and the connection cannot be clear with as above, so below, and the
Uh-huh.
energies that come both from the center of the earth through volcanoes and such, but also
Right.
from the solar flares and um, the whole movement of the planets.
Right.
Maybe even steroids, asteroids will fall. Asteroids will fall
Right.
the Earth. I said
Yeah.
steroids. Jesus, I'm not taking
Right.
any for my muscles. As you can see, I'm not very muscular. It was just a tongue slip. But
Right. I,
what I
yeah.
wanted to say is that it's very important to go back within, communicate with yourself, take
Right.
a look inside so that you can align, ground, balance, and be able to communicate. Because for those who have been too much out there, oriented towards helping the others, occupied with
Mm.
everybody else because
Mm.
everybody wanted attention,
Uh-huh.
they have had their process of retrieving information and sending it to the collective consciousness slowed down considerably, because their energy was not in tune with what happened. So
Right.
they basically blocked without knowing
Okay.
the download. And now we are forced to shut up and listen to our teachers, the
Yes.
planet, the guides,
Right.
the
Yeah.
universal energy is asking, this is a unique moment in time. It doesn't happen every day. So shut up, listen, because when you will have to pass the next test, we want you to be ready to move forward. So we have
Yeah.
to integrate the information that is downloading massively into us.
Lord.
So this is why,
Yeah.
going back to the 3D, we feel agitated, disturbed, we feel yucky. It's almost like I'm
Mhm.
drained. I don't want to talk. I don't want to eat. I don't want to just water, a lot of fluids. It's hot outside. I want to sleep. Leave me alone. I don't want to
Right.
hear anything else but the music, and that's it.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand because they were so triggered by these energies that all their wounds that
Right.
they didn't,
Deal with, right?
yes, they didn't deal with when they had to the opportunity to deal with,
Right.
came back to the surface. And basically
Right.
their their interlocutors, the ones that stood in front of them, were just basically an avatar of all the people that have hurt them, traumatized,
Okay.
abused them in the past. So
It
when,
was like projections, right? They were like they projected that out to the people that probably cared for them. Is that
yeah,
what you're saying?
yes, yes, because
Right.
they felt not only uneasy, but overwhelmed uh, with a lot of
Okay.
everything, that fury, the frustration, the
Mm.
self-victimization, the everything,
Mm.
all the
I,
emotions bubble
yeah.
to the surface like the volcanoes, because there's a volcano in Mexico now that is acting up, and there are several more that maybe we don't even know of. So the earth is acting in tandem with us. And so
Right.
the ones who
Wow.
haven't dealt with their traumas
Yeah.
bubble up to the surface, and because they're the perpetrators, um, the abusers are not there in front of them to take the grunt of their um,
To like take it out on them, if you know
or
what I mean.
their fury. Yes,
Yeah.
um, they need to project that on someone else in order to get it out,
Right.
because they cannot deal with it alone.
Yeah.
They
Well,
be
mhm.
strong enough to deal with it on their own, but some of them have spent so much time moving in a Brownian movement, uh,
Okay.
completely chaotic, that they didn't take time to strengthen themselves, to ground themselves, and to protect themselves in order to
Right.
deal with their problems on their own. So basically, they're projecting on others, and the
Okay.
fortunate ones who have to deal with them because they love them
Mm-hmm.
are facing this situation where all of a sudden everything that goes wrong in their lives is their fault. Every kind of interpretation, paranoia, irritation is
Someone else's love.
vomited
Oh,
and spilled
oh.
on them. So if they
Mm.
don't have anyone in their lives, I don't know how they're managing. Probably they take it on some public figure that has wronged them because of their policies or whatever. But those who have
Uh-huh.
are lucky enough to have friends and family close to them, they will take the brunt of all the reactions, and there is a rainbow of reactions that someone can have because of the trauma that they haven't dealt with. So this is
Right.
what happens on 3D level, because I call 3D the spirit embodied, our humanness. I call the
Okay.
5D the spirit connected to the higher self. But when
Okay.
you're in a situation of distress, you kind of forget to connect to your higher self. You kind of detach to any higher energies. You're more into the I'm going to do this,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
you're furious. You have to release that. So
Right.
be better for them
Um,
to go and
yeah.
ground and just
Yeah.
ask Mother Gaia to take that pain away from them. It would be
Well, you
better.
see, also, yeah, that takes me. Sorry to interrupt, Linka. It's just that as we're talking, I interrupted you. Do forgive me. But as you were talking about that, you see, I realized, okay, I sort of like go. I'm going back about, well, how long has it been? About 4 months, 5 months. I felt the need to disengage. It was. I felt that I was riding sort of on other people's waves rather than my own. So I'm just wondering whether that is a sort of how can I say, it's like maybe because I was like people who are sensitive, right? They, uh, I mean, I don't believe that I'm the only one, because there were other people. I noticed that there were, at that time they withdrew. So it sort of matters. Is it a matter of sensitivity? And even though not knowing, I mean, I myself did not know what I was, was going on. But I felt, okay, it was time to disengage. It was time for me to, let's say, retreat, right? And find out what my wave was. So when we're talking about these people, right, that they sort of project whatever is going on in them onto the people that actually are willing to help them, right? So was it a matter of them not being actually being sensitive enough to foresee that? Because you see, okay, let's talk about this. Had I not have done that, what I did, right?
They were not sensible enough. It's
Is that
common.
sensible? I mean, sensitive to feel the energies coming. That's what I mean. Do you know
Yes,
what I'm saying? Because at the time I didn't know what I wasn't
they
consciously.
They
You know, I wasn't aware of what was coming, but I did feel something told me, okay, it's time to retreat, girl. It's
they
time to retreat, you know, and sort of, you know, reflect about what exactly is going on in your life. That's what I'm saying. Sensitive to the
sense
energy.
sense and sensibility. Well, it's a good wordplay. I love to play games with words. They
Right.
felt it. All the empaths have felt that something
Right.
was going on, but they
Right.
didn't have the common sense to stop,
Right.
retreat.
Uh-huh.
You had it. You have an inner guidance, and you were enough
Hmm.
connected to yourself to know that it is time for you to take a moment to recharge the batteries. Some of
Yeah.
them didn't take that time,
Right.
were forced into taking the time because they started purging.
Hmm.
They purged a lot in all kind of ways. They purged
Right.
energy, toxicity in the body, emotions. They purged.
Yeah.
I was one of the people who was pushed into taking a step back, and
Yeah.
I was maybe stubborn enough to go continue being present even though I was walking with one leg and a half instead of two legs.
Like wounded. Yeah. Yes.
I was like a wounded soldier, but I
Yeah.
kept on going because I felt that I need to. Um, my mission at that time was to keep people together, and if
Okay.
if I stepped away, everybody would fall apart, and nobody will keep in touch. I know that if it's meant to be, they will come back, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But we still need each other.
Uh-huh.
And we
Yeah.
need each other even more when we are feeling crappy.
Yeah.
So I thought that if I'm wounded, because this doesn't happen only to me, if I'm wounded, somebody else is wounded as well. So we need to lean on each other instead of.
Right. Support one another. Right. Yeah.
So I walked, I limped through that period because
Wow.
I felt it, but I felt called to participate, even if by cheering people up, even if by being present, saying hello. I didn't
Yeah.
have to carry mountains on my back, but it was a
Right.
matter of letting other people who felt it and felt scared because they didn't know what was happening, uh,
Right.
carry them through that period. And that was okay. But some people didn't do the work to carry others, didn't do the work
Right.
to retreat and heal themselves, even
Yeah.
though they are most likely the people who had the most trauma to purge.
Right.
And so they danced chaotically all through that
Hmm.
period without acknowledging that they need to take a break, stop everything, go back,
Yeah.
sleep, rest, prepare themselves because a bigger wave, which is this one, will come.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
before the eclipse, the solar eclipse, we have felt a tension growing, growing, growing ever
Yeah.
since a month ago. So basically, we could have taken a week or two before this whole new energy came in,
Right.
even at the last minute to take a break. They didn't do that either. So what happened is that when they came on the brink of the eclipse, they exploded. And the ones who are sensitive, who have a lot of emotional baggage, a lot of mental stress, a lot of physical stress, they just
Yeah.
had to
Right.
purge, but violently. So instead of protecting yourself and not eating what is not good for you, you ate even
Uh-huh.
more. And so the whole dramatic expulsion was
Yeah.
even more painful and affected others as well. The whole spill of the
Right.
activity. And still, if they can, at this very crucial moment, stop everything and go within and take a break, they will at least benefit from whatever they can catch as a download from what is currently going on. So they
But you
can
see,
move on energized.
yeah. But you see, Linka, talking about downloads now, right? From my experience, I sort of learned that when I'm confused, when I'm not like keeping up with my practice, for example, with meditation, to be able to relax myself, to clear my mind, there's no way that I can receive anything, right? And what happens is like you're in this pool of like murky waters that you cannot see anything. And I think that's probably what you're talking, you know, about the people that in a way they didn't put the work in, right, at the time that it was needed. So of course now that the energies are so strong, they're completely sort of lashing out, basically lashing out at everybody, and not the person that is actually, let's say, in their mind or
Yes,
in their heart is
they are
responsible for.
overflowing as the earth
Yeah,
is
and
overflowing
purging.
lava,
Yeah, I get you.
as the universe is overflowing with energy that is directed towards us, the solar
Right.
flares, the
Mhm.
whole shift of the planets,
Yeah.
contains an energetical message. So someone asked me, why did we have to forget everything when we came back here? And I explained that
Right.
the human being, the human body, is like a memory key that you insert into the computer. We could
Okay.
come on this planet only with the amount of memory that this memory key can withhold,
Okay.
withstand, sorry. Uh,
Yeah.
so
That's fine.
um, you see the eclipse and everything just
That's okay. Yeah.
first it
You
was the steroids,
understand.
now it's the withholding. I'm not withholding information from you guys, I'm just
Mm.
withstanding as much as I can through my
Yeah.
memory. So
Yeah.
we came with what we could. The rest is
Okay.
up to us to download and introducing into the collective consciousness,
Mm.
download, and it means that we have to have a constant flow of in and out. If you're
Yeah.
holding on to those energies, they not
Uh-huh.
only become stale, but you cannot download anymore because it is full. It
Yeah.
said, sorry, you have to
Yeah.
erase some of the memories from here in order
Right.
to be able to. You cannot download into a memory key a whole um, a whole disk from a computer.
If,
And,
if there's no capacity, right,
and
for it.
yes, and the universe is not just a computer, it's a huge hard drive. It's the most humongous hard drive of information that we can imagine. And we
Uh-huh.
cannot even imagine it. So how can a little tiny baby can encompass all that information in order to come brilliant out of their mom's womb? So we have to remember things because some things are not even relevant for our present mission here on earth
Okay.
or our life. So we don't need to remember how we used to go on crusades and how to master
Right. About past
weaponry.
lives, you mean, right?
Yes,
That's
how
not,
to
yeah.
master weaponries and how to cut somebody's throat and stuff like that. It's not relevant for us. Nowadays, we have to learn how to use Facebook, for example. They didn't have
Yeah.
Facebook. We have Facebook. They have had weapons. We have the
Technology.
technology, which is a weapon
Technology.
in itself as well, but in a more subtle way. And it's used also for our good, but also against us. Sometimes Facebook doesn't work when we
Yeah.
need the most for us to relay a message. Sometimes
Yeah.
that happens. We have to deal with it and learn how to stay balanced to not completely lose our minds because the computer is not working.
Right. But Elinka, I'd like to stay with the point that you made before sending information out to the collective. You're saying that this is the time where we need to go within, right? And you see, I hear quite a lot about, okay, putting the let's say the knowledge, the collective. But okay, what I'd like to point out is that there's also time that this like collective, it has to be within us first. So it's like rather than attempting, to let's say bridge divisions like out with, right? Is important to have unity within. And
Absolutely.
it's like, I don't know, I just see that that's so important because, I mean, I was one before. I used to go all out, help people. I have no regrets about it. However, I've just realized after my sort of, let's say, sabbatical of so many months that I was going all out, but inside me, I had divisions. It's like things that I hadn't looked at, like the shadows, right? So in a way, what I learned out of this sort of like period is that what it would be more, let's say, have been more beneficial to the collective, let's say, to the people that I was interacting with, or maybe the people I was talking to, right?
Yeah.
It, I had to go inside first and create that like solid foundation inside me. I'm not saying that I have reached the, like the pinnacle of my sort of like unity. No, but what it came so clear to me, right? It was that I had to be one inside me because a lot of people, we hear a lot of people and us also sometimes talking about oneness external. Unless the oneness is within, they cannot be manifested out with.
Absolutely.
So that, I think, is just so important. Well, I believe is important, it might not be, but anyway, from what I have gathered, right, from my, let's say, it's been sort of like a research period for me as well, as much as I went through a hard time. And, I'm not gonna sit here and intellectually talk about the research. No, I had a bloody hard time for me, right, with it. Okay. But would you not say that our oneness that we want to manifest out with, it
Yes.
has to be first of all held within? And
Absolutely. Thank you
how
for saying
one
that
I
because
keep that.
I keep saying this, but it falls on deaf ears. So, maybe if somebody else comes to reiterate that, it will eventually sink into the consciousness of everybody. It's not outside that you are going to find that oneness. If you are not balanced, everybody around you can be super happy and super pleased.
Yeah.
But if you are not okay, you will feel like everybody is annoying you, is bothering you, is disturbing you because you are not at peace with yourself. So basically,
Perfect.
that is that you, at the time when you were needed, you were present. At the time
Yeah.
that you needed to be present for yourself, you were present. So basically, you did exactly what you have to do, and that's common sense. That is the proof of an old soul, the energy of an old soul that knows how to navigate through this human experience, even if the human didn't yet catch with
Yeah.
the message. Because believe it or not, whether you want it or not, in a way or another, you are going to learn your lessons. If you choose to
Hmm.
go within and learn it for yourself, that's good. But some people are stubborn enough to not want to take the time, or they think, oh, I have too much to do. I'm not going to stop now. I will stop later eventually. Well, the problem is that the lessons will come to them through the people that they interact with.
Right.
I didn't fully stop. And when I stopped, even that was considered by some people an offense because, hey, how dare I stop, take time for myself, But so no matter what you do, when somebody's not,
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. It's
yeah.
quite bad.
Uh,
I
so
get it.
so yes, but their reactions speak for them It's not,
Of course.
they don't speak about the person that is in front of them. And yes, unfortunately, with this wave of energy and with the energy from March, remember when everybody was completely uh, topsy-turvy?
Crazy. Yeah.
Um,
Disturb.
disturbed, yes. That happened then as well.
Yeah.
They started
So,
projecting their traumas, their hurts, their pains, their issues on others because they needed a scapegoat in order to um,
feel better in a way.
feel
Is
better,
it
but
to relieve
they
that?
didn't feel better. They felt
No.
miserable either way. But
Yeah.
let's say that they wanted to get out of jail free card, like in the Monopoly. They
Yeah.
didn't want to be the ones to be blamed for whatever was going wrong. They didn't want to blame themselves. Well, the thing is that when you are raped, it's not your choice. You may say no, you may struggle, but it happens, you are a victim. But what happens afterwards, all these years after, it's your responsibility how you deal with that
Yeah.
event. If you choose to tear you down, to tear you apart, or do you choose to talk to people, to um, get your confidence back, get your strength back, and learn the lesson that yes, you may have allowed to be in a conversation with that guy. You may have allowed to have a walk with that guy, but you are not in any shape or matter um, um, responsible for him being an abuser to you. That's on
Yeah.
him. So don't blame yourself. And if people tell you, oh, well, you have allowed it, because everybody says that nothing happens without you allowing it to happen. Well, when you're raped and you're put down and
Yeah.
you are forced into something that you don't want to, it's not you allowing.
Not to,
I'm sorry.
no, that's right.
That
Absolutely.
is, that is outrageous even to imagine or to insinuate to someone,
Right.
and very insensitive of them to even think that you may have created spiritually or physically the opportunity for that
Yeah.
horrific event to happen. So
So,
don't, I would, advise people to not be so free in spewing out the idea that you are responsible for everything that you
but you
uh,
see, that also shows where people are at, right? That shows where people
absolutely.
are at, for them to pass on judgment. But I'd like to go back and focus. What is the message that we want to pass on today? Because that was the subject, of our meeting, wasn't it? It's just in a sort of like short and sweet, a
I want
message.
I wanted to make a joke and say, "Boo, Facebook for not allowing us to share pictures and video."
Right.
But no, speaking seriously, it's all about the energy. It's all about going inside, trying to let ourselves breathe. Let's get out of our battle um, combat boots and combat fatigue wear and stuff like that, and just breathe.
Yeah,
Let's take a symbolic or even in real time vacation to the sea or to the ocean or to a river or somewhere in nature, because
right.
a lot of energy will come through, a lot of messages will come through water, rain, ocean, rivers,
Mm.
seas, whatever, but mostly the ones that flow somehow, that circulate
Yeah.
somehow.
So really the
So
message that we
let's
want to
get
reiterate,
out
right?
of the uniform of
Yeah,
warriors and get into our swimming suits for a
mm,
month or so, and just
right.
in the glory of us communing with nature.
So what you're saying is like chillax is, and that nothing is in control, right?
Frappuccino, darling, frappuccino.
Oh, Frappuccino, absolutely. Well, I hope that we can upload that video to Facebook, let's say, but it has been absolute pleasure, Ilinka. Thanks very much, darling, for agreeing to have this Zoom meeting.
It's
When
beautiful.
people watch this live video, just know that, you know, we're here to just share what it is that we have been experiencing, in the hope that someone, when someone listens to it will say, oh, did you also feel like that? And that's really what it's all about. Lots of love.
We're one. Make it count.
Okay. Now let's see if we can upload that. Okay, darling. Love you.
Bless. God
Okay.
help.
Bless you too. Night night.
Right.
Now.